the way, behind us is Opera Theater. And your favorite part of Lviv is what?
I think the central walls, not the square.
We are going there. We are going there right now. To the favorite place of Irachka, which you haven't seen before. It's called the Cheesecake Factory Cafe.
You promise that we will visit today Cheese Bakery. You promise me. I catch you on the word. Yes, how to say? I catch you on the word. I catch you on the word. It's not my favorite.
It's your favorite. You don't even know about it, and it's your favorite place. We're gonna go to your favorite place. So we are in the Lviv, Ukraine, and Lviv is considered to be the cultural center of Ukraine, and this is where the magic happens, so to speak. Basically, if you want to experience Ukraine and you want to see all Ukraine has to offer in like maybe a few days, maybe Lviv is the place to go. I mean, here you have things like museums, restaurants. They're not just sites; they're experiences. Like a restaurant is also like a museum. It's also a place to take the energy in of Ukraine and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you have to understand that Lviv is more than the sum of its parts. Let's go. So I'm with That Lviv Girl.
Hi guys.
Hi, That Lviv Girl has a great YouTube channel, and she's the expert on Lviv, right? You're the expert?
I am the expert.
And right now we're standing in the central part of the center of Lviv, and it's called what's it called? Ratuna, I heard.
Ratuna is the administrative building. Yes.
Right. Right, that's the administrative building. But we're standing on the northeast corner, I believe, right? I think.
Sorry, I don't know the sides of the
northeast corner. And anyway, you told me that this is like probably the most interesting corner of the square, right?
Well, each corner is interesting, but there's a lot I can tell you. Since we're here, I can tell you a lot about these buildings behind us. Mm-hmm. For example, this is the first post office, which was opened in 1629 by an Italian citizen. He delivered mail. It took him a long time because he had to use horses to deliver mail all across Europe. And then it was very expensive, so he went bankrupt, unfortunately. But we have that history, and now there's a post office there now. Some of my friends have their post box there because they live in the center. Right nearby, there's the second floor and the third, I think. This is a hostel, and I met the owner. He was having cognac in the bar, and I said, it was lunchtime, and I said, isn't it too early to have cognac? And he said, I like you. Let's hang out, let's have tea together. So definitely you can go check it out.
Right next to it is the black building, right?
Yes, and it's a museum. And definitely I recommend, if you have little time in Lviv, you should definitely visit that museum. I like it very much. Oh yes, and then nearby there's an Italian courtyard. They try to make it better. Inside there's a nice pizza place, and actually my Italian friends approve it. You can go have pizza there, it will be nice, and coffee. And you can go see inside interior of the courtyard, and you can also see a museum of Polish monarchs, so fancy furniture. Mm-hmm. And you can see that all buildings have only 3 windows, but that building has 6. That shows special status of the owner of the building, because this was a Greek merchant who traded wine in the Mediterranean. Mm-hmm. So he was crazy wealthy, and then Polish family of, I think, Jan Sobieski owned that building afterwards. So yeah.
We don't want to promote anybody, but
I'm not good at coffee. Yeah. I think everything is good, but foreigners say that this is the best for coffee here, Atlas. Mm-hmm. So you can enjoy coffee.
This is. Thank you so much. If you need any expert advice on these, for sure you have to check out her channel. I'm gonna leave it in the description and the comments.
I'm happy and I'm very excited and proud to show you Lviv, because there's so much to show, and I'm really blessed to live here.
So, despite being quite a historic center of Ukraine, Lviv is also an economic center. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of economic activity here. It's a city of over 700,000 maybe. But let's talk a little bit about this history of this city, because this city is very old. It's like 700 years old. It was founded in 1200s. You need like a list of things to read off of to understand how the city changed hands, how it all happened. The city originally was a Polish city. Then it got invaded by the Mongols, and then after Mongols it went back to Poland again. When the Austrian-Hungary Empire expanded, it became part of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. So after the fall of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, it retained its name as a Polish center. So you can see the poor Poles had the city taken over by many different forces. And then we all know what happened during the 20th century. You had Ukrainian independence movement, the Nazis. In Soviet Ukraine, we had a lot of these buildings preserved, the older buildings, but you also had a lot of Stalin architecture. It's very, very subtle. You don't notice it too much, the Stalin modern Soviet architecture. A lot of these buildings inside, a lot of these courtyards, the atmosphere, it feels Ukrainian, but it also feels Austro-Hungarian. It feels very Polish. You have like Polish engravings, Austro-Hungarian maybe chimneys. I don't know, it's like all these little things.
I remember the first time I came in Lvov, I was a student, and I would like to live here because Lviv has this university, famous university, and I wanted to study here. And I was interested how to live here, how to live like, I don't know, I'm finished.
Lviv is a city of lions, according to Ira.
Yes, Lviv have a lot of lions, and I think maybe it's about something like 700.
700 lions?
Yes, you can count 700 lions
In the city? For every year the city existed, you have a lion. A lion for every year the city existed. It's cool, right?
Yes, it's
You can find them in the city, right? You can look for them in the city.
Yes, you can find it on buildings. Buildings all the time. Often they have these lines. So it's like a symbol of look.
Symbol of Lviv.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, on a bottle of beer, they have the same label.
The same label?
Yes, of
Like
lines.
what kind of label?
Label of lines. You didn't notice? You're an expert of beer.
I am.
Yes.
That calls for a beer tasting day, to taste all these beers and to look at all the labels and find lines on these labels. Good idea. By the way, behind us is the opera theater. And your favorite part of Lviv is what?
I think the central hall, not the square.
We are going there. We are going there right now. To the favorite place of Irachka, which you haven't seen before. It's called the Cheesecake Factory Cafe.
It's not my favorite.
It's your favorite. You don't even know about it, and it's your favorite place. We're gonna go to your favorite place.
Finally, I've got to this place that I wanted.
And we're gonna get into the rating of this city very soon. Hit that big fat like if you like this content about Ukraine and you're interested in learning more about Ukraine with us, and join us on this journey of, I don't know, conquering Ukraine, really. To sum up the experience in Lviv, by the way, we haven't even talked about the things that we've done there. We've also went to whiskey tasting, we went to beer museum, we went to this Piana Vishnya, this place that they give out these like little cherry liquor things. You know, you really couldn't fit everything in one video, right? Because there's a lot of things to do. So to sum it up, let's start with the atmosphere.
Yes.
I-
How much?
Yeah, I
have
would
to-
give the atmosphere 5 simply
5?
because it's so nice and beautiful and
Yes. Atmosphere in Lviv is always beautiful. I think so.
yeah. What about attractions?
About attractions, I think maybe we can give it 5 because attractions, it's a lot of castle, churches everywhere, parks, and all the stuff. So I think it's a cool place for tourists to visit all the time, always. So
Yeah.
I think attractions it's 5.
Yeah. In terms of the food, I think it's also 5 because simply there's a lot of things to try out, and Lviv is very unique. So like whatever you find in Lviv, you likely won't find anywhere else. One experience that you get, and food is a big part of that. So that's also 5, I would say. What about nature?
Nature, Lviv has a lot of parks, ponds, and we like nature. Maybe it's not so much nature, but it's okay. I'll give it a 5.
I agree with that. Yeah, and cleanliness. I would give this one a 4. It's very nice in the touristy areas, but like when you get off the beaten path, you get into the markets, in the areas, in these little, what do you call it, these little dvoriks, these little courtyards. It's very quite run down, and it can be like, you know, people don't always clean up after themselves, I suppose. So yeah, I'll give that one 4. Getting around, I think it's a 5. There's a lot of trams, there's a lot of buses. You don't really need a car too much. If you don't have a car, it's not a big deal, I think.
But you have
Yeah.
to be very careful because if you, for example, not valid your ticket, then you can have a fine. So
Yeah, you can have a
we
fine.
had this situation, so be careful here.
Yeah, you have to be really careful on the trams, especially. Yeah. And the next one is infrastructure, and that is basically the condition of the buildings, the roads, and everything. And I would give that a big 3 because I think that buildings are in bad shape. They're not taken care of. The roads are all cobblestones. They feel rough to drive on. Yeah, so that's the 3 there. What about cost?
Cost, I think Lviv very changed. You can compare Lviv with Kiev because Kiev and Lviv prices it's the same level, I think now. So we visit a lot of restaurants, a lot of cafe, and it was like prices like in Kiev. So I
Yeah.
think it's maybe like 3 because it's changed.
Yes.
2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, it was completely different. Yes, it was more simply than now.
But at the same time, you have the same location, the same restaurant. If it's a chain, for example, it will be more expensive in Kiev than in Lviv. And there are like a few examples, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But there are some differences in prices. Accommodation, it's like hotels and stuff. I think there's quite a lot of hotels. Lviv is a very touristic city, so you're not going to have a problem with that. It depends on
Yes.
if you want to spend a lot of money, a little money, you want a hotel, hostel. I think it's a 5. I think there's, yeah.
And if you have, for example, any problem with your hotel in the night, you
Yeah.
can always find another different hotel.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
yes,
Yes.
they will find a place for you. So
Okay, and lastly, English. It's an issue for some people, for many people. English, I think, is very well perceived, and everybody speaks English.
not everybody, but a lot of tourists,
Yeah.
a lot of people that speak English very well. So I think it's like in Kiev. I can compare
Yeah,
it to
in Kiev. It's
Yes.
in Kiev. It's definitely on the same level. So yeah, I'll give it also a 5. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and you know, let us know what you think. We always appreciate any likes and comments and whatever you wanna. Yeah, give a big fat like if you like what we're doing, and if it helps you in any way. You know, if it helps you in any way, right?
Yes.
And
So,
yeah,
yes, see you next time.
see you next time.